From Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Waker's pearls and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance, it was resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables every set. Performed the Deanest nightly, never free from the deck. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in disguise. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. To reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan out as crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, is a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tenth that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined. Where was next? Temples from the rubble, made cathedrals from the struggle. Turned the largest to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
All right. This is, and you are Under the Groove. Welcome everybody to Under the Groove Podcast. Here I am, and there you are. Let's get it in, man. One of them days. I came across some stuff today, kind of shocked me. Then I got over it real quick because I said, okay, that's just the nature of things. You know what I mean? When it comes to racism and hatred. Anyway, yeah, man, here we are. You know, let's get it in. I want to wish everybody, or I'd like to extend to everybody, a very prosperous, safe, peaceful Tuesday. The day is still here. There's still time left in the day. If there's things you got to do, get it done. Get it done. Don't wait, for it to get done. Don't expect nobody else to do it for you. Handle your business. All right. That's to get around. That's what I want to impart to everybody first and foremost. Still time in the day. Tick, tick, tick tock. Anyway, yeah, man. I'm appreciative to be here. I say this all the time, 10 toes down. It means something to me. A grand rising means something to me. And I like to think that it does for the rest of you. All right. Everybody have their experiences of how they go through a process their day, especially when them eyes open and 10 toes hit the floor. Everybody got this thing, I think, the system they go through, man, to, determine how their day would be, to help them, determine what it's going to be about. So more power to you all, man, in that respect. All right. That being said, yeah, I was in the studio today, man. I took the grandkids and my nephew, man, and I'll tell you, that was a mistake, man. That was a mistake, man. And I love them guys, man, but like, come on, man, for real, these dudes, man, had me hot. I'm in there recording, trying to take care of some content and stuff. And oh man, they were loud, man. I said, come on, man, y'all can't do this to me, man. Come on. All right, pop. All right, man, they 5 minutes later, they right back at it, And then, they want to tussle and, set that hierarchy, you know what I mean? They want to fight and tussle. I was like, all right, man, enough of this shit. I had to shut it down. Put your phones on silent, sit your asses down, man. Don't say a word till I'm done, and it went good for the most part. You know what I mean? After about an hour, restless, man. Them little brothers, I think, though, that's a result of them being on these phones all the time. They're not getting out, exercising, exerting that energy. They're putting it all into these phones. And when they get together, it seems as though, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, had them there, brought them home, man. First thing they did, and I'm pretty sure it's about that, them not exerting that energy because they're on them phones all the time. man, as soon as they got here, man, came in the yard, man, and start playing tackle football and stuff. You know, so I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, you know, I expected them to come in, go in the den, and get on the phones, you know, but they did the opposite, and I appreciate seeing them do that, you know. Get our young brothers and sisters, our families, man, active. Get them back active. And that goes for a lot of us as well, you know, got to get active. I'm sore from yesterday. Hadn't done anything today, but today is still here. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to put some sets in, man, you know, I'm trying to get this thing back up and running as I should. But you know, that being said, man, my day, you know, it's still pleasant. It's still pleasant. I don't make it seem like or sound like I was just all messed up and they messed my day up. No, man, I love having them young brothers, my family around me. You know, I do, you know, especially the young ones. So, you know, I'm just talking crap, you know. Don't pay me too much attention in that respect. That being said, so I got something, man, across my news feed, man. And again, it initially it shocked me, but then it maybe not even a minute. I was like, oh, yeah, that's actually normal. No problem. Mayor Karen Bass, you know, I went and we sat with a few of us, a lot of brothers went and sat with her Saturday, you know, and just to hear her spiel, you know, it's a campaign thing. Let's call it what it is. You know what I mean? Because it's election time next month. She's going against this one guy, I think Pratt is his last, Spencer Pratt, this what they call a reality show celebrity or whatever. He's running for mayor, and it's supposed to be a very, very tight race. So anyway, it comes in my feed that the Korean community has decided to throw Karen Bass under the bus, but they didn't just do it. Say, you know, well, you know, they said, no, we're throwing you under the bus because you're a racist and you have hatred in you. And they were basically saying she hates or has hatred for the Korean community. And it shocked me initially. And I thought, I said, no, wait a minute, man, that's y'all. You know, blacks got receipts, man, you know, and as far as that go. We know that they, you know, are racist towards us. You know, though we spend our money with them, it ain't stopped them. We know they hate us, you know. We know these things, you know, so I just found it offensive for them to label her that way or in that respect, knowing what I know in terms of, you know, our dealings with them. You know, come on, man. They follow us around the stores, you know, they talk shit, and some of them have even attacked some of our sisters and our elderly, you know. So I was like, hey, man, that you know, that's an insult. That should be, you know, that should not be accepted. And not for the fact that they went in on Karen Bass. I mean, a lot of people may have reason, you know, I mean, a lot of different demographics may have a reason to do that. But the fact that you would insult her, this black woman, and call, because she's a part of our collective, you know, the black nationality, that black nation, to insult her is to insult us. You know, again, after everything we've been through with you guys, you know, that community, that's disrespect. My mind got to going, 90 going north. I'm like, oh shit, man. Oh, wish I had it in such a capacity where we could call a boycott of all them stores, all their shops. Let them understand that, you know, man, you know, we know where the racism is coming from. We know where the hatred is. And it's a surprise also to just based on we know this about them, and yet we continue to spend our dollars with them, send their children to universities and colleges, buy them homes. You know, they live well off our dollars. I was like, oh shit, man, I wish that was a moment in time when I thought, yeah, man, it would have been nice to have some real influence to say to the people, hey, man, let's shut them down. It's time for them to go. You know, that would be the way to go, you know, if you ask me. And again, it wouldn't, if we did it the way we're supposed to do it in terms of our dollars, where we spend them, who we spend them with, we shut down a whole lot of shit. A whole lot of people be out of business. You know, if we kept our dollars in our community, you know, yeah, it's sad, man, that, you know, we're not on the same page or, you know, dealing with this issue, because I think it's an issue, the issue of racism and hatred towards us. It's sad that we haven't dealt with this all this time, you know, and all this time, you know, we still go to, you know, our people still frequent You know, there's shops and stores, like I said, you know, the hair, the nails, the spas, you know, t-shirt outlets and shit like that. You know, you know, go to their restaurants, they fake cooking soul food. We're going there and buy it as though it was authentic soul food cooked by black people. You know, we go to the fish fry places, you know what I mean? And, you know, as though it's cooked by black people, you know. Yeah, so much, man, could be done that we're not doing. And it's sad that we aren't. And again, when we say this quite often here, until we decide to come together and shut a lot of this stuff down, it's going to continue. It will continue, you know. So that's that, man, in that respect. And that's how I felt about it, man. And, you know, that's how I thought about it. I felt about it and reacted, you know, all in the same get down, you know, like these people need to be shut down, you know. We need to do a Montgomery boycott, man, for real, you know, on everything Korean, just for the fact that they, you know, as a community want to say, you know, racism, you know, comes from our quarter to them, you know. That's an insult, man. That's an insult. And that's the type of stuff we supposed to be addressing with one another, you know, in terms of dealing with them type of people. All right. That being said, man, I'm gonna move on. I got some clips, man. Very important clips, man. Political, no doubt, no doubt. You know, just speaking to a lot of things, man, that we don't seem to understand or comprehend that is going on. You know, it's always somebody else telling us or having to tell us the truth that's right in our face. In fact, the truth that we already know, we just don't want to deal with, you know, and that's sad about us. You know, that's another issue that concerns me about our people, you know, the black nation. We know this stuff. We understand what's happening, and yet we refuse to deal with it. Something's wrong with that. You know, I mean, really, just think about that. Something's wrong with that. You know, Korean, those from the Korean nationality can kill our people, call them the N word, disrespect them, put their hands on them, and we'll still go and frequent those businesses as though nothing happened. In fact, we got people in the community who will protect them even when they're wrong. Something's wrong with that, man. Something is really, really wrong with that. All right. So yeah, man, I think that's worth discussing. But again, it's just a discussion because I think I'm saying, or I realize that we're so far from where we're supposed to be, you know, actually shutting down those demographics or those people from certain demographics, man, is a far-fetched thought, you know what I mean, or reality, just based on we haven't gotten our shit together yet. But yeah, we need to put that on the back burner, you know. At some point, we need to start boycotting all those who disrespect us, who exhibit racism and hatred towards us. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. It's time we start dealing with our own people. And for real, you know, stop giving these people passes. Stop spending our dollars paying for their mortgage, buying their cars, sending their children to school and college. You know, let's do our own thing. You know, that's something that we should be discussing and making moves or taking steps towards, you know, in the very near future. In the very near future. All right. All right, I see you up in here, B60, man. What it do, loved one? As always, man, front and center, man. Appreciate you. I salute you, man, as always. Greetings and salutations to you, Bub, and the RGC B1 is Black First, y'all. This black nationalism, you know, black nationality, man. Black nation, some powerful shit, y'all. If we only knew. If only we knew. You're going to say, man, school is out and they have to burn the energy somehow. Yeah, and I'm the one. Uh, I'm the one in the position where you know, I'm watching them. You know what I mean, man? Like, damn, man. And I thought about that today. After I had to go in on them, I said, shit, man, how did I get caught in this shit? You know. But you know, again, nonetheless, man, them my boys, man. I love them. I love them, real spit. So it's good to have them around me. And again, you know, when I get them, you know, I'm lacing them. I'm on their necks, you know. I'm on their necks. You know. So yeah, man, appreciate that B60. Henry Sadello, man, what it do on Love One? You say one love, man. Salute to everyone and the man of the hour, Brother Bub, man. Salute right back to you and each and every one of you. We are all in this hour, We are all what makes this thing go, right? The foundation of this get down is the people. So appreciate you just as much, bro. Everyone else, all right? That's real spit. James, what it do, man? Salute right back to you. You say salute, Bub, one. Right back to you, James. Salute and one, bro. Shout out to the CPT. All right, Antonio. Love, homie, and a salute. You always gonna get that. You always gonna get that, bro. Good to see you here amongst us, man. Yeah. That's the time of the year, man. Summer vacation. These kids gonna be out and about. And let's keep them in perspective, though. You know what I mean? Let's focus on them. Let's make sure, man, we do everything we can to keep them out of shit. You know what I mean? Keep them out of the mess. Keep them from being a part of this, getting caught up in this system, So let's look out for them as best we can, all right? That's real spit, man. All right? Yeah. I see you, Antonio, man. Appreciate you, though. Real spit, bro. Real spit, man. Yeah, I got a couple of clips, man. I want to drop them things, man, because like I say, man, there's a lot going on. I did some content on the other channel. Well, I have been doing it anyway. Last week, I kind of told everybody, on the other channel that what's going on in the world, especially with the Trump administration and Bibi Netanyahu in Iran, that shit is just a front. Oh, this ceasefire, peace deals, we're negotiating. That's all cap, man. And it wasn't going to last. At some point, Trump was going to take off, and he did. He did some shit, I think, yesterday, and he's done some more shit today. So they're back up and running. There's no surprise there as far as I'm concerned. I saw that coming. I thought that what the ploy was for them to regroup, restock, munitions and stuff, missiles and all this shit, so that they can continue on with this get out. It's never been about a ceasefire or peace, especially if Israel is in the ear of America, because nothing been accomplished if Iran isn't dismantled or destroyed. Then Israel can't do what it want to do. So there's no way in the world that thing is going to get left half done. Not if Israel has anything to say about it. But yeah, they took off on them yesterday. It was yesterday, and Iran retaliated and knocked down some very, very expensive drones and shot at and fired on the F-35 jets. So the shit didn't start back up. Trump just took off again. So, all bets off. And like I said, I expected that. I'm surprised it took this long, but it took America and Israel that long to regroup, replenish, munitions and shit. The whole time Iran is ready. They've already been ready. America went in the news and said some shit like, oh, we knocked down a lot of more missile defense systems and missile launchers. And so I'm looking at the footage and I'm like, wait a minute, man, that ain't no real shit. Because America's ignorant, no, just dumb. Not ignorant, but dumb. When the shit initially started back in February on the 28th, they were bombing shit that they thought were actual jets and missile launchers and shit like that. Come to find out, they were cardboard mock-ups, made from plywood and cardboard. So I'm looking at it today, and when the missile hits it, the missile exploded. If you were hitting a missile with another missile, you're going to have a dual explosion. But none of that. I said, oh. And then I'm looking at the debris and it's flimsy. I said, oh, man, they got them just hoodwinked like a big dog, having them waste more munitions. I get that plot. I get that strategy. Set some shit, and the shit sitting out in the open. That's another thing. You know what I mean? It's just sitting there. I said, okay, man, they playing them and shit. They playing them, making them, fire them missiles, which they should be doing, But other than that, man, that's what's happening in regards to what, America is up to internationally, across the waters, man, on the other side, man, of the world, or the Middle East, put it like that. Now here, we got these issues, y'all. We got these issues. I did some shit yesterday where this Democrat, and I probably mentioned her last night. I think I did. I'm not sure. But anyway, Debbie Wassinger Schultz, the Republicans take over her district, that new, redistricting and doing, drawing these new, these lines, these congressional lines or districts. So her district fell into in Florida the new, the redrawing of the new congressional districts and shit. And so rather than go and fight for her seat, her constituents are in that area. She abandoned the seat and said, well, I'm going to go over here to the 20th district, which is majority and minority black, and take that seat from them. I said, oh, shit, ain't this something? I think I did mention that, but just the fact that they have the audacity to do this, this should be an indication to a lot of us that there's no respect, man, extended to us, man, in no form of fashion, in no form of fashion, man, for any of us to think that, again, that for instance, the Democratic Party is for the black, for blacks. You're absolutely wrong. Again, if anyone thinks that, and I'm not knocking anyone for, feeling that or thinking that the vote matters. Let's go vote. Let's go vote. Let's go vote. Yeah, that's your prerogative. But, if you study it and look at it, seriously and hard enough, long enough, even, you understand that shit it's all cap. It's all cap. Our people been voting since before us, since before us. And again, my point is, look around you. What has changed? What does that mean then? If nothing has changed, tell me, I would say, hey man, that this shit it's a game. It's a con, it's a con, so there that is, man. That went down. And again, back to Karen Bass, man, she's in a world of trouble. So the Koreans that went in on her and like, man, basically fuck you, excuse my language, y'all, but that's, we're gonna vote for Spencer Pratt or whatever his name is, another celebrity, and you're not doing nothing for us, so it doesn't matter anyway. The funny thing about it, she just recently gave them $1 million check for their homeless, for Asian homeless. Now here's the kicker: when it comes to the data on homelessness, Mexicans or Hispanics, Latinos have 23,000 homeless individuals in Los Angeles. Blacks have 22,000. Asians have 1,100. They get $1 million check. And for whatever reason, that wasn't enough. They want to or say, hey, this is racism or hatred. I don't know. $1 million for 1,100 people to get housing. How that don't work, And then not only that, but shit, what have the blacks been getting? We ain't got no checks. We ain't got no checks. I can't speak for the Latinos. I don't know. But shit, ain't no checks been handed out to, house no blacks. I'll tell you, I go through downtown whenever I'm in the studio, and I see majority black homeless people roaming the streets, man, mental issues, all kind of shit. Getting been no check handed out down there, man. I go through LA, I see them. Shit, man. I go to the Valley, I see them. So yeah, it's a lot of BS going on, man, I think. And but for the Koreans to say that and get $1 million and they only have 1,100, and these are statistics. This is precise data. Well, not precise, but it's data that exists. 1,100 homeless Asians, and that includes all Asians, Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. 1,100, $1 million. And y'all gonna call this lady a racist and she hates Asians. Man, blacks need to be cussing her out for giving y'all $1 million. You know what I mean? And we got 22,000 homeless brothers and sisters in the city. Again, I don't know about Mexicans, what they say or what they got to, to do with any of that. Ain't got nothing to do with when I'm talking about black people, but anything they've done in terms of dealing with her, I don't know nothing about. So I ain't speaking on that. But yeah, there that is, man. And I don't know. I don't know what the outcome of this so-called election is going to be, whether or not she's going to win this thing or not. And I'm not, let me be, 100, man. Don't really care. Don't really care. Again, I had to address the fact that there are no STEM programs, after school STEM programs in our parks, in these recreation centers. Um, just to have to bring that up, and then for her to say, oh, that's, the LAUSD's issue, let me know. Nah, you know, nah. But hey, it is what it is, all right? And to boot, all the business, all the corporations, the technological corporations, the entertainment industry, all that's here, you utilize that to get funds, just in case, or just so happen, you say you don't have the funds, you know what I mean? That's tax write-offs to them people. They're not going to miss a dime, you know? But yeah, man, it doesn't exist. STEM programs in our community do not exist. And that $1 million could have went to somebody, could have went to 3 or 4 parks, 250,000 a piece in 4 parks in LA, to get the materials, what I mean? All the things they need. Start small if you have to, but start. Shit, that went to Asians, man, who don't appreciate her. One lick, one spit. They only have 1,100 homeless, and they got $1 million. So I can talk about that all night, man, but I won't. I won't. All right, East Oakland, I see you, man. Black Fire Group, appreciate you. Peace and prosperity, you brothers and sisters down that way. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to have you up in this get down, man. Just heard from one of my boys, man, out of the Bay Area, from up that way, Frisco. My boy EP, man. Peace and prosperity to you, EP. If you're watching this, man, love you, homie. Still think about you, man. Nice thing, man. See you up out here one day. Hanging out with Reg and Roy, or just out and about. You know what I mean? Come on, tap in, man. That's what it is. Yeah. What's up with it, folks? What's up, folks? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. Yeah, man. That's one of my bros, man, from the yard, man. Solid cats, man. Still up in there, man. I'm telling y'all, man, I've said this before and I mean it. They need to go on and, hey, man, let a lot of them dudes out, put a lot of these dudes in, man. I'm going to tell you, things will change. Things will change, man. But, again, they know pretty much that, okay, no, we got to keep a lot of these mugs locked up because, they got that mindset, they wired to go. Revolutionary thinking, the whole 9, you know what I mean? They ain't playing. No, leave them in there, sad thing. And they leave the riffraff out here, all the shit that's going on out here. We see brothers and partaking in, them the one need to be up in there, man. Real spit. Them the one need to be locked up, man. Hey, I said it, I mean it. Shit. All right, EP, good to see you, bro. Good to see you up in here, man. Real spit, man. All right, I see you, Jane. Say, what's up, man? What's up to Hoover Street? Yeah, it's likewise, bro. Sending shots out to the loved ones, man, over there, man, in the community. May everything be everything. You brothers, got your minds right. You're working on getting it together, man. That goes for all the communities, matter of fact, not just Hoover Street, all the rest of them, main streets, man, Broadways, man, Crenshaw, Inglewood, all over, man, all us, all right? Shots out. May everything be everything with you brothers and sisters, man, wherever you are. All right. That being said, man, let's jump in here, man. Because like I said, man, well, hold on. B60 said, man, they don't want to wake the sleeping. They don't want the sleeping giant awaken. Yeah, but I don't think true that, right? True that. Here's the thing, and I know you're aware of this, like most of us are. It's going to happen anyway. In fact, it's happening anyway. In spite of all these distractions, right? All the shit that's being thrown at us, man, left and right, hitting us in the back of the head, inside of the head, and in the front, right? We got all this shit, man. In spite of that, the awakening is occurring. Consciousness is becoming a thing, and we're starting to recognize in each other, Like every day, again, man, I'm more and more brothers. We nod and we do, more than normal. And that's good. Sisters are speaking, being able to, you can speak, say, sister, how you doing? Keep pushing. Ain't trying to hit on you nothing, but, acknowledging each other. That's what's happening. And not only that, but we're coming into the know, to some degree of, what we're up against. 1, 2, what we're supposed to be doing. there's this thing that's inherent, and we spoke about this in all of us that's being triggered. Something is waking this shit up, man, and let it do it. I'm all for it, man. Whatever it is that's igniting that spark in each and every one of us, let it happen, man. Let it happen. Now, the fact of the matter is they see this shit. And I think it's more out of fear that they're pushing even harder now than anything else. Fear is making them act the way they're acting now. They have a real fear of us waking up and coming into the know, coming into ourselves, our spirits, man, getting to the point where, it's doing the damn thing it's supposed to. That DNA, man, right? So I love it, man. I love it, man. Let it do what it do. More brothers, man, and again, though, you right about that, though, Henry. B60, man. They don't want that to happen, but yeah, they can't stop it. They can't stop it, man. They can't shit. We couldn't stop it if we wanted to. It's gonna happen regardless. It's happening regardless. A lot of them see it though. A lot of them ain't got enough sense to say, wait a minute, let me see if I can get on their good side before this shit go down. I see a lot of that on YouTube. And like I said, when I watch YouTube, when I guess the word is trolling, when I troll it, I don't mess with the bullshit we see in the community. That Gilligan shit, that clown shit. I leave that shit alone. I go and try to, understand the posts of other demographics, what I mean? As well as our own, the consciousness, the positivity being spoken that deals with identity, history, what I mean? Excellence, uplifting, empowerment, finance for the people, shit like that. That's what I fuck with. But I also pay attention to what other demographics are saying in regards to this. And they're not as ignorant or oblivious to this shit as a lot of us think. They see what's happening as well, So let it happen, man. You can't stop it anyway. Let it happen. Let it happen, man. Yeah. There y'all go. All right, I see you, Queen and Zinga. She say peace and blessings to the queens and kings in the RGC. That is the Royal Group Congregation, man. B1. It equals black first. That's what we pushing. We have to come together, man. Let's deal with us first. Everything and everybody else have to be put on the back burner, man. Matter of fact, don't even set the pot on the stove. Set it on the floor. So we can, we need all that space to deal with our shit, That's just my take on it, man. In my opinion, I'm not advocating no violence, no harm to nobody. I'm saying to us, let's get our shit together. And once that happens, we ain't got to worry about hurting nobody, man. Just the fact of us getting our shit together is going to be hurt and harm enough. Trust that. We were having that conversation the other night, Henry, and I think it was Chris. We were talking about it, in terms of what we're going to do to somebody. Do we get them? But I was like, hey, man, I don't think that's to get down. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? Because so remnants, that side of me that used to be still exists. Don't get it twisted. So ain't that them thoughts coming like, yeah. But the reality is, I think we need to, understand, accept that we need to accept is that's not, I don't think that's the purpose. I don't think that's the purpose, to be retaliatory, to be vengeful, to get back at, Nah, I think the purpose is for us to get our shit together. And by doing that, all that I just mentioned will have its own effect without us even touching them. They'll feel that. And it'll be something they won't be able to escape or get away from. They'll wear that, man, probably to their dying days. It will be phenomenal to them. They won't be able to understand, deal with anything else except for our excellence, our empowerment, our growth, our ascension, So we ain't got to deal with that. And again, I think the DNA is coded as such. We ain't got to worry about that, man. No, we ain't got to worry about them. The hell with them, man. We need to start, again, black first. Worry about us. We're going to be all right, man. But yeah, I got this clip, man. In matter of fact, I got 4 of them. So I may do 3. But they're very insightful. And again, this is something, man. Again, more other people from other demographics understand this shit better than us, because I think that they're in tune based upon the guilt and or the participation in the oppression or the suppression of the people. You know what I mean? So, I think a lot of them are more aware of not only what been done to us or what they, allowed or was complacent in, but the fact that we are waking up. They're aware of this shit, man, and they see it happening in real time, and it's spooking them. It's spooking them. But so let me drop this first clip, though, man. Enough said. Let's get up in here, man. It's not long, man. This clip right here, most of them are not long, but I got some that are fire, man. And let's dialogue on this. Let's have a discussion, man. All right, before I go up in here, Katie8710, what's up? What's good, bud? Memphis dropping in, homie. Just checked out the stream with the homegirl run. All right. I saw your comment in there. I answered back to you. Appreciate you doing that, bro. Hey, man, Miss Legit is good people, man. That's one of our queens, man. And she's, she love the community, man. Put it like that. She love her sisters and brothers, man, and the youth. Keep in mind also, she just lost her brother. A lot of y'all don't know or probably heard of Craig Munson. He was an old head, one of them G dudes when that Crippin first started, but he was in the weightlifting. He's the cat, man, that Arnold Schwarzenegger, all of them know this brother, very, very reputable dude, legend, in fact, in at where was that, Santa Monica, where they lived at, but in LA as well. All the G's knew him. He knew all the G's, didn't, real legend. But that was her brother, you know what I mean? And the loss of him recently, I can't speak to, the effect it had on her, but, we were supposed to have sat down a month or so ago when this occurred. And, she took that time to just, deal with that, and I sat with her, what was that, Sunday, man? We chopped it up, man. We chopped it up for a minute. And I have a lot of respect for that sister and appreciation. So, yeah, man, shout out, man, to Miss Legit or Lady Runt, Lil Runt, you know what I mean? Out of the kitchens, man. Love you, sis. Keep doing what you're doing, all right? Keep doing what you're doing. And I told you, that studio is free. Ain't nobody got to, I ain't like that. You know what I mean? You ain't got to pay me to come in the studio, you know what I mean, to want to sit down, and chop it up and give something positive to people. You're more than welcome to come there, man, sister, anytime. Anytime. Provided, you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody sitting in there before you. You come wait, sit on the couch, have a seat, whatever. But I mean that. That invitation is extended to most of our brothers and sisters. That place exists just for what we're doing, like right now, for what we did with her and others. Y'all more than welcome. Come on in. Come on in, and let's spit power to the people so that they know that power is in them, That being said, let's get in here, man. All right. You see the title, huh? Make America Great Again. Now, Pete. Now, these are brothers and sisters. They trumped out of the game, man. They believe in this shit. Whole lot of them. They believe in making America great again. A lot of them don't even really understand what that means, what that phrase means. What that hat really represents. Maybe now they do. I don't know. But damn, some of our blackest brothers and sisters being supported, that clear guy, man, and all their policies and shit. It's a shock. But then again, we get, it ain't no, back in the day, they had them two categories of brothers and sisters, right? The field and the house. So that's how you can address that and look at that. Here we go.
It has always been racism with these people.
Another episode of Woke White People. This man right here will let you know why black people should not wear Make America Great Again hat.
I need you to understand that the Civil Rights Act was only passed 62 years ago. The average age of the House is 57. The average age of the Senate is 64. The average age of the Supreme Court, which just dismantled the Voting Rights Act, leading to these map redraws disenfranchising black voters across red states, is over 65. The president was damn near a grown man when the Civil Rights Act was passed. The same guy who took out an ad advocating for the death penalty for the Central Park Five. Half these people in power are older than the civil rights legislation in the US. And do you think everybody just changed their minds and got along after it was passed? No. Businesses in the South shut their doors rather than serve Black Americans. Public spaces like city and county pools closed down rather than integrate. Public schools shut down rather than integrate. You had shootings on public beaches in places like Texas, mob beatings in places like Georgia, police beatings across the country. We've had lawsuits about desegregation all the way up into the early 2000s in places like Texas. In the wake of Katrina, you had white people just taking pot shots and shooting at and killing Black Americans in the street just for being outside and calling them looters. You've got people being found hanging from trees in modern times. We've got the media calling one group of people rioters and another group of people doing the same thing, but maybe even more violent, peaceful protesters, or just going on a guided tour. It has always been about discrimination, subjugation, and opportunity for a specific group. And to the women who voted for this, do not be shocked when the voices calling for an end to the 19th Amendment, which are on your side, start to get louder. Do not be shocked if a court case comes down the pipe and this time it's aimed at you.
Right quick, the 19th Amendment deals with or concerns the vote for a woman's right to vote.
Because again, it's liberty, representation, and opportunity for one group. Just look at their slogan. First of all, America has never been great for everyone.
That's right.
But make America great again. The time frame they're talking about, it was only great for one group that looked like this. And we should be great. We should be the greatest country in the world for everyone here. But unless we get these people out of power and undo the damage they have done, we never will be. It has.
All right, that's the first one. And it's crazy because some of what he's saying is it reflects a lot of what we talk about. When we talk about these people in power, man, and how they are wielding power, or how they exercise it to their benefit more than anyone else's, man, that's something that's telling, make America great again. Come on, man, that's not rocket science, man. That's one thing and one thing only. That means one thing and one thing only, get it back to how they like it, their way of life, and we have our brothers and sisters who support this shit. I want to say misguided, man, but that is probably an appropriate term to use. In any respect, man, these brothers and sisters are indoctrinated, man, with self-hate. They don't really know what the hell they're talking about. So when we talk about what's happening what happened to the Voting Rights Act in 1965, we're talking about the stripping away of what a lot of us want, or a lot of us call power. And I never thought that the vote gave you power. I just did it, because the Constitution, it is not written like that. And one thing about the Constitution, it wasn't written for us, So a lot of us get in there, or we get involved in these politics that don't serve us. Man, said 1965, man, that shit went down, the Voting Rights Act, okay? Here it is, 2026. What's changed? I was just saying this before I started the clip. What's changed? Trump is older than 65 years ago. Trump there in the 80, matter of fact, right? The Supreme Court justices, they're all old. Most of the Republican Party are old. The ideology of these individuals have not changed. And this is why we see the things going on that are going on. That's part of it. They're stuck in their system, this systemic racist, nation, white supremacy. That's all. And for a lot of us not to get this, for a lot of us not to understand that, man, that's kind of sad. It's sad, man. And it's detrimental to the people. More than anything, it's detrimental to the people. All right? Real spit. So that was the first clip. I got another one. I got 3 more. And, let's get into it, man. Let's have this discussion, man. Right quick, though, right back to these comments, man. Appreciate you, like I say, KD. You say, what's good, bub? Memphis dropping in, homie. Just checked out the stream with the homegirl Runt. Love how you're highlighting the positive things homies are doing. yeah, man, that's the purpose. That's the process, you know. That's what under the groove is about. Um, and that's what it's gonna continue to be about. You know what I mean? And again, it doesn't matter. You know, we got our sister, man, Lasite. She out of, you know, out of South Central as well, man, the Brims. You know, she's sitting with Miss Legit, you know what I mean, good sister as well. One of our healers, you know what I mean, one of our shamanic sisters, you know, she know her shit, man. Trust and know that. So check that one out as well. And she landed down. She got the script, man, for what ails us. You know, but you gotta listen. You gotta want to be healed, man, for her to want to even mess with you. In fact, you know, yeah, you can want to be healed all you want. For her to mess with you, you got to be recommended by someone she consider a leader. That's the only way you're gonna get in contact with her. You know, so yeah, she's setting a that's a hard precedent. You know, that is a hard way to get in contact with her, but it's a good way. It's how you filter out the bull crap, you know, those individuals full of shit. Yeah, so hey, shouts out to Lasike as well. Shamanic Collective. She's up in the comments right now. And as a matter of fact, appreciate you, home queen. Thank you for showing up. She's sending her love to Miss Legit. She said, great day and health to you, brother. Right back to you, queen. Appreciate you. All right. What it do, Pope? Before I get that, but yeah, again, go check that out, you guys. It's on Under the Groove, man. Lasite, Semitic Collective. That's what she represents. That's her get down, her business. And Miss Legit is sitting down, they chopping it up, man. It's a decent, it's a helpful and healthful discussion. All right. So get a bar at you guys. Poke say, man, what it do, bub, man? Salute right back to you, Poke, to the UGs, to the UTG and the RGC. Got in here early today, listening to catch up. Kings and queens in the chat. Love y'all. All right, man. Appreciate you, Poke, man. How that job treating you, bro? Working smart, not hard, huh? I can dig it. All right, let's say, man, they're only stuck because they don't think we can do it on our own. Real spit. Man, Devin Butchie Knox is back, y'all. Right back to you, Devin. Right back to you, man. He said, peace, brother Bud. Right back to you, bro. To you and yours. All right, good to see you up in here, man. Good to see you up in here. You're more than welcome, Lasite. You should know that by now. You are more than welcome, you know. And like I was saying, and like it should be, you sisters need to be a mainstay, because I love to have you guys, you sisters, you queens, come on and let's start addressing the sisters' plights in the communities. You know what I mean? I have a thing about discussing sisters, you know, without sisters around. I don't mess around like that, you know, and just out of respect, you know. So I'd love to see you guys, you sisters, come hang out and let's talk about, you know, the sisters, you know. In fact, I'll give y'all the thing. I'll sit over on the couch and let y'all have that discussion. You know what I mean? I ain't got to be in that discussion, tell you the truth. Shouldn't be, you know, but I have some questions. Excuse me. I have some questions. All right, Pope. You say job is being real respectful. When it's like that, you're able to think and be there for your folks. I can dig it, bro. Yeah, my voice went hoarse quick. Hey, handle that shit, Poke. I know you got it, man. Ride that thing into the dirt, bro. All right. Let's say it's gonna be good to have you hanging out. You, Miss Legit, Cinda, Sister Cinda, and Soldier Denise, as well as Miss Cat. You know, 5 strong queens, man, up in there, man, laying it down. Need more of that. All right, let me drop this other one in here for y'all. I found this one insightful as well. This is the one I'm talking about. All right, let's get a bar of this right here. And I'm telling you, boom. Pay attention to this one. Some real spit right here. Yours too? Yeah, they got the shadow ban jumping off for all podcasters or content creators who talk positivity, who drop that content that's enlightening, and they're speaking to the people. They're shadow banning a lot of us. That's right. Oh, hold on, y'all. My bad. I already know I forgot to do something. Hold on. My bad, everybody. I'm pretty sure I forgot to do this. Yep. Damn. All right, here you go.
I know what their end game is, and it's not the midterms or Trump the chump. Please share this video. My videos are getting blocked from everybody who needs to see them. The redistricting wave sweeping Republican-controlled state houses isn't just about winning the next election. It is the systematic construction of a governing supermajority capable of rewriting the United States Constitution. The Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision, gutted Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act that prohibited any voting practice that would abridge the right to vote on account of race. Within days, Republican governors began calling special legislative sessions to redraw congressional maps. The targets were clear: majority Black districts that had been drawn specifically to give Black communities fair representation. Tennessee eliminated its only majority Black congressional district, carving Memphis, a 63% Black city, into 3 white majority Republican pieces. Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina, and Texas followed, using the same playbook. Political scientists call it packing and cracking. Either pile Black voters into one district where excess votes are wasted,
They're trying to change the Constitution where Black people can't vote at all. So we will really be in trouble if they change that Constitution, something that we can't let them do.
I don't like you did that, bro. I wanted to hear the rest of what she said. But anyway, yeah, and that's a fact, right? When we're talking about what's really taking place, a lot of us thinking, it ain't going to go that far, or, oh, that's it. They just wanted more seats to control the House, control, the Senate, the Congress. It's deeper than that, man. It's deeper than that, what they call it. The fix is in. They coming at us, man, and we better get the hell ready. We better get ready. Better get ready, man, because this shit ain't no joke. Trust and know that. It ain't no joke. That's one. Let me drop this next one now. Oh, shit. I don't know what the hell that was. Oh, shit. Don't tell me that happened. Hang tight, everybody. I got to go get that. What the hell? Okay. All right. Yeah, man, this thing crazy. I'm having difficulties. All right. All right. You got to be kidding me. 1 second, everybody. All right. There we go. Sorry about that. Now my shit out of order. All right, here we go. All right, let me drop this one now for y'all. Now, in terms of what she was just saying, I think that the Constitution is about to be rewritten, but they can't do it overnight. From what I read, man, it would take at least, I think, 10 years to not rewrite the Constitution, but to create an amendment to it that would exclude us, period. But I don't think that's hard. I don't think that would be a grand task for them to do or to accomplish, because we aren't actually written in it as, you know, as individuals who actually receive or is part of the Constitution's construction. We're just not. You know, it was written for them. It was written for them. You know, so I don't see that being no big thing. Taking 10 years to rewrite or create an amendment, a new amendment that would strip any so-called voting rights or rights afforded to us as a people. I just don't see that. You know, I don't see it taking that long, put it like that. I just don't. I think that it's going to be something where when they decide to do what the hell they're going to do, they're just going to do it. They're just going to do it. And they're not going to worry about what nobody thinking or what, you know, they're not going to worry about none of that shit. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to drop this one right here, man. And again, it's a lot of this out there now. A lot of our brothers and sisters are waking up. Check this one out.
So let me ask you, was race just a description, or was it a system designed to control who can actually exist as a people? Watch this, because this explains everything about modern identity. In colorblind racism, it explains that after the American Revolution, white Americans defined themselves as a nation with the right to self-determination. But here's the key. So-called African Americans were deliberately reclassified, not as a nation, but as a race. And according to this text, races don't have rights, nations do. So if you're labeled a race instead of a nation, you are automatically stripped of political identity.
Right quick, the highlighted part of this says African American people were never again to be called a nation, but only a race. Races do not have the right of self-determination. Nations do. A race becomes something that was not a nation. A race became something that was not a nation, had no national existence, and could not possibly have a state.
Sovereignty and the right to self-determination. So let me ask you, was race just a description, or was it a system designed to control who can actually exist as a people?
Right.
Watch this, because this explains everything about modern identity. In colorblind racism, it explains that after the American Revolution, white Americans defined themselves as a nation with the right to self-determination. But here's the key. So-called African Americans were deliberately reclassified, not as a nation, but as a race. And according to this text, races don't have rights, nations do. So if you're labeled a race instead of a nation, you are automatically stripped of political identity, sovereignty, and the right to self-determination.
Now, y'all get that part? Let me get rid of that. Y'all get that part? That's some deep shit, man. And this is why we have all these handles or labels in terms of race, who we are. They've made it to where they identify us as a race and not as a nation or a nationality. You know what I mean? So without that, we have no power. This is why they're able to go and strip us of the so-called vote. You know, this is why they're able to continue to, you know, oppress us, kill us, you know, and all the shit that we know have been done to us. They don't have, there's no laws to really protect us. You know, we aren't sovereign people. We aren't autonomous. We don't run our own shit. You know, we're considered just a race of people, not a nationality or not a nation. You know, so I think that's a grand point to be made. I think that's one of the issues when it comes to this shit, man, in terms of especially politics, we're not identifying as a nationality, you know, as a nation, a people of a nation, you know what I mean? Or as a black nation, just put it like that. We're identifying as African American, you know, Black American, FBA, you know, shit like that. And that don't carry any weight, you know? We've been reclassified, man, at least 10 times. And just based on that, it carries no weight. So whatever our true identity was that was stripped from us, that's what we need to go find and become, or, you know, bring back into the fold. Or, you know, that is what we need to profess, claim, and know about us, man. That identity that we, you know, we don't know, or that was stripped from us. Without that, man, we just gonna continue to be a race of people. It's not respected, you know. That's what I think, man. I think most of what's going on is going on because it's, look, that is the design. It was designed to be this way. They thought this shit out and it's working. We have to be honest. The shit works. We all over the place, man. We're all over the place in terms of our identity. A lot of us call ourselves the N-word. You know, we thump down ninjas, you know, colored, Negro, Black, African, you know, real identity attached to that. There's no real nationality attached to that. Ideological words and labels that they put on us. That's the problem. That's part of the problem anyway. So once we get past that, we'd be all right though. But we got to get to that part that identifies us as a nation. Okay. Yeah, that one right there. All right. Now I like what she's saying, because what she's spitting is this is power. There's some power right here.
Or to buy them their clothes. Yes, they will learn how to cook your soul food so they can open up a Korean-owned soul food place and sell you your shit. They will open up a black clothing store to sell you your fashion. And we got a lot of dirty ass black people with a nigga ass Willie Lynch mentality.
Oh, yeah, I bet you would. Hey, man, they just hit me talking about, sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. That's some bullshit. Oh, they did that. Oh, they did that, man. Damn. Oh. All right, let's see if they do this one. Hold tight. Wow. Fuckers. All right, get this.
A wolf sometimes goes hungry, but he answers to no one. Most men choose to collar and call it security. You heard the story about the wolf who meets a well-fed dog. The wolf was thin, hungry. The dog was fat, comfortable, fed every day by his master. The wolf says, "Your life looks easy." The dog says, "Come with me. You'll never go hungry again." The wolf starts walking with him. Then he notices a mark on the dog neck. He says, "What's that?" The dog said, "Oh, that's nothing. My master chains me during the day, but at night I'm free." The wolf turned around and walked back to the wilderness. Most men see that story and think the wolf made a sacrifice. He didn't. He made a decision. The hunger isn't the problem. The hunger is the price of freedom. The collar isn't always a job. Sometimes it's a relationship that you stay in because comfort is better than the uncertainty of leaving. A circle that you stay in because belonging feels better than the loneliness of outgrowing it. A version of yourself that you keep performing because the approval feels better than the risk of being who you actually are. The dog isn't free. He's just full. And there's a difference between a man who has everything he needs and a man who answers to no one. Most men have confused the two their entire life. The wolf goes hungry sometimes, but nobody owns him. And because he's willing to go without, he can't be leveraged. You can't control a man who's not afraid of hunger. That's the most dangerous man alive. Not the one But the most, the one who needs the least. Now, a man who works his job to provide for his family is honorable. That's not weakness, that's discipline. That's the wolf hunting so his pack can eat. The problem is the man who wears the collar and pretends it isn't there, who uses provision as an excuse to never become who he was called to be. The collar isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it's the season. The wolf knows the difference between necessary hunger and unnecessary change. The question is, do you?
Dave, I may have to play that one again, man. For right now, we're going to just kick that out of there, man. Deep. Because a lot of us wear a collar. And we find comfort with that collar, you know. Not realizing, though, that we're not our own man. We're kept. You know, we have masters. You know, Wolf ain't having none of that. You know, Wolf ain't having none of that. Wolf gonna do his own today, man. You're not leading me. You're not running me. You can't take nothing from me. You know, I ain't taking nothing you gave me, so you can come take it back when you're displeased with me. So you can punish me when you don't think I've done well or done right. Yeah, the wolf is different, man. That's a cool analogy, man. And again, that speaks to a lot of what we see in our communities with our brothers and sisters. A lot of them, man, are dogs with collars, with owners, masters. And then there are a lot of us out here who are wolves, not controlled, can't be bought, compromised. You know, that's integrity, man. That's integrity. Now I get the part where he said, yeah, man, but when it's come time to take care of the family, the wolf knows how to do that, know how to fend for his family. That's some deep shit to me, man. You know, there's a season, he said, you know. Wolf knows the season, you know, but he not buying that bullshit. He not getting bought into that bullshit. You won't collar me. You won't control me. You know, you won't tell me when I can do what I want to do, you know. That's some deep shit, man. That's some deep shit. And I think that's the part a lot of us miss, especially our brothers and sisters who wear the collar. But again, I don't think they really miss it. I think a lot of them they're cool with it. They are. They are, because I think they know better. We had this discussion last week about the fear of uncertainty. A lot of our brothers and sisters taking off the collar and, you know, in the process, or thinking that, you know, in the process of doing that, removing this collar, they're going to think, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive if they don't give me shit? You know, how will I survive? I don't know how to survive. I need to be told what to do. I need to be dependent upon my master. That's some cold shit. And most of us are. In respects we don't even see. You know, most of us have collars. True that. Me included. When we go and paying bills and for a system that really is not to our benefit, we collar. When we're participating in a get down that we know is not to our benefit, we are collared. And we're too afraid, frightened, or uncertain of what the future would hold if we remove those collars. A lot of us tend to think that we won't survive. We're going to die. You know, can't get no water to drink, no food to eat. We'll die, you know. So a lot of us willingly wear collars and are fine with it. Some of us even stud them, you know, put all kind of bling and shit on, you know. I'm just saying, you know, that's the reality, man, that we are facing, or that we're faced with every day. A lot of our people are cool with the collar. You know, a lot aren't. You know, a lot are trying to figure out ways to remove the collar. You know, but I also think in terms of the collar, see the system is a cold beast, man. You can remove that collar, but are you still participating in the system? If you are, the collar hasn't been removed, because that's their system. Then that means you're playing ball the way they see fit, or the way they wrote it. You know? So yeah, I thought that was a very deep analogy, man. I don't know how anybody else took that. Give me a opinion. Let me know what y'all thought about that one, man. Yeah, real spit, man. Crazy as hell, but it's real. Crazy as hell, but it's real. Fat Rat, what it do, loved one? All right, man. You say, man, peace to you and the RGC, big bug. Right back to you, Fat Rat, man. Peace and prosperity to you and your fam, bro. Good to see you up in here as always. I wonder, did you catch that last clip I just ran? And if so, give me your thoughts on that, man, if you feel like it, all right? Let me know what you think about that last clip. Again, I say that was a cold analogy, man, in terms of what we actually see happening today, taking place. And that's with all of us. You know, there's really no separation. Well, there are some who have removed the collar completely, you know, completely, you know. But for the majority of us, yeah, we wear the collar, man, in some form of fashion. You know, why do we wear it? Again, are we in fear, or are we frightened of the unknown, the uncertainty of removing the collar and not being able to depend on master, or to receive the things, the comforts that we've grown accustomed to that master gives us? Is that the issue? You know what I mean? It's crazy. But yeah, I like to know your opinions on that. All right, let's like say, man, shoot, where you at with this? It's like you started somewhere. Okay, you said the Constitution is set in stone. They can't change it, no matter how hard they try. They can create a smoke screen, but we out here fanning the smoke away. The gates of hell shall not prevail. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the Constitution is written in stone. It is in terms of what's already written, but amendments can always be added to it. You know, amendments can be added to the Constitution. You know, so yeah, to rewrite it is one thing I don't think that would be tolerated. But you can always they can, not we us, but they can write amendments to include or instill or put into the Constitution. That they can do. Now, how long that'll take, I'm not sure. I read something yesterday where it said it may take up to 10 years. I don't trust that though. I think it may take less time than that. If they get a hold of Congress the way they're pushing, that might take a year. It could take, 2 years, but that is doable to add an amendment to the Constitution. So, okay, the gates of hell shall not prevail. And then you go on the site and say, that's how they get us in that word game. They took away many nations with $5, what they call it, the 5-cent Indians. And yeah, there are a whole lot of numerical terms in terms of money, where people sold out, but they took away many nations with $5 and a signature. We must pay attention and remain watchful to dodge the ditches, because they can't do anything. They can't do anything without our permission. All right. That fly over everybody's head. We allowed everything that has happened to us. We are the problem. Those are my sentiments exactly. Yeah, we understood what happened. We knew even the initial stages of that, some way, somehow we played a role in it. I don't know what that role is exactly, but I know up to this point, the 61 years I've been living, hey man, this is all our fault up to this point. And so I agree with you there, Lasite. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. We're the problem. We're the problem we don't want to solve. But we got a lot of energy trying to solve all these other problems people throw at us, but we're not willing to solve us, the real problem. Crazy, but true. It's much power on here today. This is exactly how we stop them coming together, unification, and getting them oils and that energy right. Get setting them frequencies up to man to be one. That's how we get them. 100. I hear you, sis. 100. B60 said, man, the hood postman says the lion and tiger may be more powerful, but you never seen a wolf perform in the circus. That's true. That's true. That's true. Wolves ain't having it. Yeah. Fat Rat said, Bub, I missed the clip, bro. Distracted, but reference it so I can pull it up. I intended to play it again in the next couple of minutes, actually, bro, because yeah, your input would be appreciated. I'd like to hear what you got to say about this. And I know it's gonna be some righteous shit. So I'm gonna play that in the next minute or two. One more time. It needs to be repeated. It needs to be played again. Sister LaSykes says yes, but it doesn't override it. That's true. Poke Mitchell said, Bub, have you ever thought about the types of collar? How a collar has a sense of control and identification that a lifestyle under the collar has kept blacks at a disadvantage. I'm gonna read that again. Bub, have you ever thought about the types of collar? How a collar has a sense of control and identification that a lifestyle under the collar has kept blacks at a disadvantage. Of course, they're all kind of collars. And I mentioned this a minute ago, Poke. I say some of us even we bedazzle it, you know. But yeah, there are certain collars that represent certain things. You know what I mean? Certain places. You know, certain places. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're all kind of collars, and our people wear them all. You know, and not just our people, but you know, I think this it's just more important to mention us, man, because you know we've been wearing these collars the longest. You know, and under circumstances no one else has had to wear them. You know, like we have. So yeah, but you got more to say. You said has kept blacks at a disadvantage that surrounds material things, gold and silver, that lead to the destruction of black folk in death. Yeah, man. Again, they're all kind of collars, man, and we see our people wear them every day, all day. Our people wear collars, man, that the master just put over there, man, and for whatever reason, a lot of our people went over there and just put the collar on their damn self. You know what I mean? And wear them proudly. You know, and then there are some of our people where the master come in, let me put this collar on you. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, shit. It's all kind of crazy shit going on. Hold on, let me play this clip one more time. Because I'm telling you, that's sticking with me. That's some deep shit. Then I'm gonna move on. Check this out, Fat Rat.
A wolf sometimes goes hungry, but he answers to no one. Most men choose the collar and call it security. You heard the story about the wolf who meets a well-fed dog. The wolf was thin, hungry. The dog was fat, comfortable, fed every day by his master. The wolf says, your life looks easy. The dog says, come with me. You'll never go hungry again. The wolf starts walking with them. Then he notices a mark on the dog neck. He says, what's that? The dog said, oh, that's nothing. My master changed me during the day, but at night I'm free. The wolf turned around and walked back to the wilderness. Most men see that story and think the wolf made a sacrifice. He didn't. He made a decision. The hunger isn't the problem. The hunger is the price of freedom. The collar isn't always a job. Sometimes it's a relationship that you stay in because comfort is better than the uncertainty of leaving. A circle that you stay in because belonging feels better than the loneliness of outgrowing it. A version of yourself that you keep performing because the approval feels better than the risk of being who you actually are. The dog isn't free. He's just full. And there's a difference between a man who has everything he needs and a man who answers to no one. Most men have confused the two their entire life. The wolf goes hungry sometimes, but nobody owns him. And because he's willing to go without, he can't be leveraged. You can't control a man who's not afraid of hunger. That's the most dangerous man alive. Not the one with the most, the one who needs the least. Now, a man who works his job to provide for his family is honorable. That's not weakness, that's discipline. That's the wolf hunting so his pack can eat. The problem is the man who wears the collar and pretends it isn't there, who uses provision as an excuse to never become who he was called to be. The collar isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it's the season. The wolf knows the difference between necessary hunger and unnecessary change. The question is, do you? A wolf.
I'm telling you, I have to say that's damn near the dopest shit. In terms of just playing other people's clips, that was one of the hardest. I mean, that's deep. That's deep, man. That's deep. That thing there deep, man. I can't believe they took that video down, man. I was trying to play for y'all, man. They didn't remove this video in the middle of me playing it. Huh. What's this one? No, I don't want that. Unbelievable, man. Hell no. Unbelievable. Yeah, man. Give me your thoughts on that, man. Let me know what you think about that. That goes for anybody that want to drop a comment or opinion on that. And again, I tell you, we see this every day. We see individuals making decisions based upon their comfort. Based upon their comfort, you know, based upon being well fed, having shit, you know. Pope just said, you know, materialistic, you know, thinking, or, you know, that thought or concept about having shit is a lot of what we see in our communities with our people, you know, the gold, the jury, all that, you know. That's a decision that we make, man. Our people have made. And again, Lasite just said, man, we are the problem. A lot of our people know that those are collars, that they wear collars. Our politicians, our celebrities, our entertainers, our athletes, you know, and those in our community that ain't went nowhere, ain't went no further than us. They wear collars. And us. Again, we wear collars. A lot of us wear these collars, you know. The site said, man, that video is a true definition of the thinker and the worker. And Pope says, man, the wolf understands that he'd rather be free than chained up, which is what that collar stood for. Which is what that collar stood for us that had been incarcerated. I feel understand that the most. I feel and understand that the most because freedom is priceless. Yeah, that's another way, another aspect of looking at it, you know. But again, you know, in terms of especially how he was putting it, are we, though you and I and others, you know, in this get down, we have this physical liberty, you know, we're outside of the walls now, you know, in the bars. But are we free? Are we free? You know? That's the question. You know, are we free? You know? Deep shit, man. Man. Fat Rat said, man, good analogy, bub. The wolf chose self-determination. I already knew you were gonna come. The dog was fortunate. The wolf didn't see him as the meal he was. Right. Ain't that something? Because normally the wolf would take down the dog too. Oh, you a fat dog, huh? You one of them. Right? Right? Yeah. I got that one. I got that one though, Fat Rat. Real spit. Poe said, man, Congress don't care about our freedom, period. I mean, and again, you know, when we talk about the so-called government, you know, I think for the most part, a lot of us, we misconstrue who the government really is. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that of you, Pope. I'm saying just in general to people. We don't really conceptualize who the government really is. And they aren't the politicians. You know, it's not the politicians. You know, that they're figureheads, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Again, the Constitution was written by businessmen who joined together to create a corporation. All right, not politicians. Wealthy men who, like the wolf, left England to exercise and practice self-determination, autonomy, right? Left England, left the UK. So we don't want these collars no more. They came here and established autonomy, sovereignty. You know, they didn't want the collars no more. But the point is, they were all businessmen. United States, like technically, really is not like a government for the people. It's a corporation that hires the people as employees. The rich are the CEOs who write the bylaws and the laws, the constitution of the corporation, so that it functions the way they see fit. A lot of us we miss that. A lot of us miss that. We miss it, you know? And we miss it so much. We miss it so hard that we actually think we could determine how the corporation is ran. And that we have a say in the corporation like we're on the board, you know? And that's not the case, man. It never was. We're not on the board, you know? We're not on the board. We are employees. And each of us wear a collar. In some respect, trust that, you know? But the politics, what we call politics, the laws, what we call laws, have been written by the rich. Straight up. You know, and you know, research it. Those are the politicians. Those are the ones that run everything. Those are the ones who decide which laws work, stick, stay, and which ones don't. This is their business. This is their corporation. You know, straight up, man. And we have to be mindful of that shit. If we don't have sight of that, man, then yeah, we're going to continue to be employees. We're going to continue to wear a collar that doesn't serve us. Yeah, they'll feed us, you know, give us a nice doghouse, you know, a silver bowl, some a silver spoon, you know, make us look fresh, smell good, the whole nine. Parade us around, but we're wearing a collar. We're wearing a collar, you know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. A real sister's back, y'all. She says, shalom, 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 family. I'm probably a little behind with my comment video, a reaction, race, and nation. What's that? PS is that Psalms 83:1. For our enemies have taken crafty counsel against Yah's people to cut us off from being a nation. You're going to say that the name Israel be no more in remembrance. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay. I don't know if that's Jeremiah 17:3, but you see, yeah, 4 says, 3 and 4 says, cursed is the man that trusts in man. Blessed is the man that trusts in Yah, the only one I vote for. 3 and 7. Okay. Appreciate that comment, sister. And it may be validity to that. You know what I mean? And this is, you know, this is the folly. Yeah, that may be the folly of us human beings trusting in the word of man or trusting man. I don't know, you know. But yeah, and as a result of that, he done fitted us all with collars. Crazy, sound crazy, but true. We've all been fitted with collars. There are movies like that, right? There are movies like that, man, that came out, a long time ago, but we all have collars, and them collars also can either, propel you to work, shock you to working, you know what I mean? Or kill you for not working. I don't know. But we all wear them, man. Nothing funny about that, man, but that's the truth. We all wear them. A real sister goes on to say, we should trust in the one that created man. Pope Mitchell podcast says, man, I feel like the collar is all I can ever accept. Hold on, let me start again. I feel like the collar is all I can never accept. Okay. I feel like the collar is all I can never accept. I can never accept that analogy that says I don't have or deserve my freedom. I hear you, but damn that collar. Be one freedom, y'all. Okay, yeah, man. I don't know. Again, yeah, it's perspective. Yeah, I think that might have a lot to do with it too. It might be some of the reason why we, I don't know, are still suffering and going through this shit. Perspective. But again, and I'll give you a different analogy. Either we're plugged into the matrix or we're unplugged from it. If you're plugged in, you're collared. If you're unplugged from it, you don't have a collar, So the wolf and the dog analogy is almost the same, actually, as the analogy of being plugged into the matrix as opposed to not being plugged into the matrix. There's a choice. There's a decision that can be made. You know what I mean? So, Fat said, man, the heavy aspect of Sis's comment is that one is a video making a post-experience observation. Then Sis dropped the scripture that was revealed over 2,500 years before, I like to say before we even saw that video, right? I can't wait to see the response to that, man. Okay, Poke said all bad. I'll go back and read that, Poke. I feel like the collar is all bad. I can never accept that analogy that says I don't have or deserve my freedom. I hear you, but damn that collar. Be one freedom, y'all. Got you, Poke. All right. The collar is all bad. I hear you, bro. All right, Rakufu, I see you up in here, bro. Peace and prosperity, man, to you and the fam, man. Good to see you, bro. All right. Where did that Fat Rat? Okay, there you go. Finally came. I'm gonna read that again, Fat Rat, because she said what she said. You know what I mean? A real sister said what she said. The heavy aspect of sister's comment is that one is a video making a post experience observation. Then sis dropped the scripture that was revealed over 2,500 years before it. 25 years before it, all right, the incident takes place. Again, yeah. What? I don't know. I want to say a premonition, but a prediction. Just a forewarning before the fact. Before the fact, at least I'm gonna go out and assume it was before the fact. I don't know what occurred 2,500 years ago, whether or not that was the same get out, was that the play even back then? Was a collar affixed to necks back then? Right. But yeah, the fact of the matter that she was able to go get scripture and associate that scripture, to match what bro was saying, man. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. That is deep. Rakufu said, man, peace to everyone at RGC, etc. Pope said, man, all bad, but okay, I got that part, Pope. Cognizance. All right. Rakufu said, man, the word for the day is cognizance. Cognizance. All right. Cognizance means awareness, knowledge, recognition, or conscious understanding of something. Appreciate you, Rakufu. I don't think we got one yesterday. Good to have you here today, nonetheless, brother. Like I said, peace and prosperity to you and the fam. Good to have you back, man. Dropping that vocabulary for us. You going to say, Rakufu, he spoke with cognizance of the ancient text. All right. A real sister says, man, there's nothing new under the sun. We have been stripped of our true identity and culture. Right. I appreciate reading that from you. A real sister, man, dropping that, and I appreciate reading that. Again, these are conversations we've had in the past. We acknowledge this shit. Lasite, sister just said, man, we're the problem. Ain't none of this shit new. So, it's coded in our DNA what's been happening, man, for millennium. You know what I mean? And yet we continue to ignore a lot of the warnings that have been here way before us, for thousands of years. You know what I mean? Yeah. We talk about not necessarily the erasure, but the confiscation of our identity and our true culture. It being, not kidnapped, but it been Shanghai, stolen, hidden away from us, man. And as a result, yeah, we're going through a lot of stuff, man. But, in spite of that, we're supposed to know better by now. Fat Rat said, man, I keep reiterating, we write the history 25,000 years and then walk into it. All right. And was that last one 2,500 years or 25,000? Yeah, it was 2,500. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to read that again, Fat Rat, because that's true. You say, I keep reiterating, we write the history 25,000 years and then walk into it. It's the predicting of what's going to take place. And then we walk into it. Something's still wrong with that picture, man. But again, now, when the sister just said, hey, man, our identity is missing, as well as our culture, then yeah, how are we supposed to be aware of a lot of this stuff? You know what I mean? That just as a result of what's been taken from us, hidden from us. A lot of this stuff we're not going to know because they've hidden it away so well. And I don't know, it's almost as if we get fed bits and pieces of it. And it's always been my position. I would like to know. I really want to know the identity, aspect of it as much as the culture, what was. As knowing what was, then we could pretty much determine what's supposed to be, what is, you know what I mean? Appreciate that, a real sister, and you as well, Fat Rat. And that's crazy. We write the history 25,000 years and then walk into it. Crazy. A real sister said, there's nothing new under the sun. We have been stripped of our identity and culture. Man, it's some crazy stuff, man. And Lasike said, man, we're the problem. I have to agree. Lasike said, we are the problem. I have to agree. In a lot of respects. Yeah, we're the problem. I think so. Man, that's not a good look. That is not a good look. We got a lot more living to do, man. And like to say, nothing new in terms of what we're going through. My mama used to tell us that, growing up. You know, we thought we didn't came across some, you know, some phenomenal shit. You know what I mean? Some first time seen, you know, my mama look at us like we was idiots. Boy, ain't nothing new under the sun. Ain't nothing new under the sun. My mama would tell us this. I grew up hearing that from my mama. Every time I thought something ignorant, every time something ignorant came out of my mouth, my mama would hit me with that. It literally and figuratively hit me with that. Boy, ain't nothing new under the sun. Bah, you know. Yeah. Real spitter, real sister. Appreciate you dropping that. Appreciate you dropping that. You said facts, Raku. Spiritual. It's written. It's written in the Holy Scriptures, the Old Testament. We have to search it out. Fat Rat says, man, the Supreme Being set up a classroom in Black Bottom, Detroit, 1930. I was with Cam, the rapper, today in Detroit, distributing Georgia watermelons to our people. Black commerce. Get it done, bro. Let me read that again. The Supreme Being set up a classroom in Black Bottom, Detroit, 1930. I was with Cam, the rapper, today in Detroit, distributing Georgia watermelons to our people. Black commerce. Go on in, Fat Rat. Rakufu said, man, the planet we live on in the solar system that we are in is moving super fast. Ra goes on to say, man, Earth rotating at the equator about 1,000 miles per hour or 1,670 kilometers an hour. Earth orbiting the sun about 67,000 miles per hour or 107,000 kilometers an hour. So what do you say then? And I like you guys' input on this. Fat Rat as well as you, Ra, anyone else, real sister, if you have knowledge on this or an opinion about it. What do you say about this science now that the world or the earth is flat? That the earth is flat, you know, like the white or the European scientists used to preach about when they were still in the dark ages. They swore it down, the earth was flat. You know, now I'm hearing this more and more. A lot of people jumping. In fact, some of our own people are starting to espouse this, you know, this rhetoric that the earth is flat. What do you say to that? Rakufu said, man, I'm originally born in Detroit. Nation of Islam is founded in Detroit. And Fat Rat goes, quote, 1,037.03 miles per hour. Raku says temple number 1. And I imagine you're talking about the first temple that started in Detroit. Nation of Islam. You're going to say, Rakufu, man, the earth is flat. It's outdated information. Yeah, and I mentioned that way back when, you know, they barely knew anything. They predict or they swore it down the earth was flat. Fat Rat said, man, solar facts. This enemy has taken disinformation to be a pastime. One of his favorites. Did I miss that? Rakufu said the biggest Masonic temple on earth is in Detroit. Are you going to say the earth is flat? Is outdated information. Fat Rat says solar facts. This enemy has taken this information to be a pastime. That's one of his favorites. Rakufu goes on to say, we now have satellites that can see the circumference of Earth. On a later date, let's have that discussion. A real sister says Isaiah 40, verse 22. It is Yah that spit upon the circle of the earth. All right, to give it confirmation or scripture confirming that the earth is round. All right. And you guys, I got to get ready to cut out a little bit. I had a grandkids here that, spend time with them. I love them. Got on my nerves today. All right, go ahead, Rakufu. You say, so, Bub, let me ask you, do you believe we went to the moon? No, I don't. I never went. You said we. I never went, but I get what you're saying. I'm being, facetious. No, I don't think they went to the moon. I don't. And I can express why I don't think they went to the moon. There's too many reasons why they didn't go to the moon. That shit that we see, that man-made, that's manufactured. It's just too many discrepancies for one. But yeah, no, I don't think they went to the moon. No. Do you? Fat Rat said, man, the earth is 24,896 miles in circumference, 7,926 miles in diameter. All right. Rakufu said, facts, LOL. Yeah, right. We didn't go nowhere, right? They didn't either, though. Nah, they didn't either. Shit. They didn't either, man. Shit. Where Alonzo at tonight, man? I'm at the text Alonzo. Tell Alonzo, man, hey, quit playing, man. Henry Sadello, man. Henry said, laugh out loud. That's what grandkids do, right? Get on your damn nerves, man. And a good thing. Let me say, man. Hold on. Let me finish that. That's what grandkids do. Stay strong, pray up, peace and blessing to everyone. Great live episode, like always. Yeah, that's what they do. They get on your nerves, man. But I think the thing, especially for me, I'm 61. I'll be 62 soon. But I'm not decrepit. You know what I mean? Brother in his 60s, I'm still active. I still move, I chase them, catch them too, you know what I mean? So I appreciate the fact that they're around, man, and I get to exercise a little bit, get to wrestle with them and shit like that, so yeah, man, there are advantages, man, that I get as well, other than just seeing them, enjoying their company. I get to play around with them, rough house a little bit, whatever, so it's all good, bro. It's all good. Rakufu said, man, every planet that you personally see in the sky is round. Do believe we Earth is not naturally the same. Let me make sure I read that right. Every planet that you personally see in the sky, the sun, every planet that you personally see in the sky is round. Do believe we Earth is not naturally the same. You're going to say, Rakufu, the sun is round, the moon is round, the stars we see are round. So naturally, why would we Earthlings planet not be round? I don't. Yeah, But then again, why does it have to be so? Why can't it be another diametrically a different shape? Geometrically shaped planet. Why? Why does it have to be round? I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. Why can one be like an oblong shape, just like the shape of an egg? You know what I mean? Why not? You know, I'm just asking here. I'm curious, you know. Lesyke said it's square. It's square. Are you talking about the Earth? Planet Earth is square, Lesyke? Fat Right going to say, man, 1,096,940,000 miles, square miles, 139,685,000 square miles of water, 57,255,000 square miles of land. These are called actual facts taught in that classroom. All right. Lesyke says, man, the sun, the moon, and the land, the four corners of the earth. Rakufu said it doesn't just wondering if naturally all the others are. And for the record, oblong is basically round. Yeah, basically, yeah, yeah, no, yeah, no. You know what I mean? Yeah, no. The shape of an egg is round, but it's circumference. It's not the same circumference as a ball, right? Right? Like the Earth. If we want to, use it as an example, it's like the shape of a ball. So I'm saying, I don't know if it's necessarily a fact that all the stars and other planets are that shape. I'm just saying that, yeah, I'm told these things, I'm told these things, but yeah, I don't know for a fact, if there are any triangular, rectangular shapes, I don't know, you know what I mean? Squares, I don't know. Yeah. And I'm just asking. I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm just asking. Rakufu say, man, 93 million miles away from came one to represent the nation Wu-Tang Clan, talking about how far the sun is away from Earth. 93 million miles away from came one to represent. Okay. Yeah, and that's what he said in Ron, now that you mention it. I'm trying to remember which one. It wasn't Killer B. I'm trying to remember the rap. Another one of my groups, though. Another one of my groups. Anyway, 93 million miles away from came one to represent the Wu-Tang, the nation Wu-Tang Clan, talking about how far the sun is away from Earth. You have a point on the oblong possibility. I don't know. I think I read that actually somewhere before, that there's that possibility. And then I've also read where the Big Bang theory is how this shit all the Earth, whatever, all these other planets came to be because of the theory, that explosion, and as a result of that explosion, it spit out, these round debris, planets or whatever. Don't know that I trust that at all. I understand the basis for that, so don't know that I trust that at all. But yeah. Fat Rat said, man, their scientists denied Pluto or Platoon was a planet. Yeah, they did that. In fact, they declassified it a few years ago. But they denied that Pluto was a planet. Go look at what they're saying now. Platoon is the ninth planet, and that would be 4,681,000,000 miles from the sun. Lesyke said, man, the goals 16 and 18 satellite shows us, Rakufu, Earth is not a perfect circle and not a perfect sphere either. Scientifically, it is best described as an oblate spheroid that means slightly flattened at the poles and slightly wider around the equator. So yeah, it's like, you know, like a little bit bigger than like a band of cheese. You know, some of them cheese wheels, cheese wheels, but more round here and flatter there. I've seen the diagram. I know exactly what you're talking about. And only because I had it drawn on my wall. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And there's a lot more to that. You know, the reason why that the poles are like that, you know, why they're flat there and up long there. Fat Rat Playboy said, man, what are these actual facts for? The Asiatic black man is God of the universe, and he possesses all knowledge of it. Go on there, man. All right, everybody. I got to cut. I love everyone, but love yourselves. Love yourselves. It makes no sense for another individual, a human being, to love you. You don't love your damn self. Take care of yourselves so that master won't have to fit a collar on you and take care of you. You know what I mean? You know, yeah, take care of yourselves. That way we'll be able, or we'll be in a position to support and take care of each other. All right. Real love, man. Peace and prosperity to the people. All right. Just so y'all know, let's focus on the focus and understand that in that focus, if we hone in on that thing just right, we're going to see the power in the people. Power is in the people, man. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. You are, you have been, and you will be under the groove. One love, everybody. Black fist held high. All right? All love. All right, Poke, holla at you, man. All love, brothers and sisters, kings and queens. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hurst, and writing future history. From the Apollo to the borough to the sphere. Where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transform suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws, and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant. This is once a less than had this and Mercedes. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive plot to the applause for polls. Need your data, tropes, and counsel any problem when the wet just wanna build the season big. Now don't get the pause. It's just the raising up the times. Plead the markets off the main. Make it honor fans. Turn the neck and love the durn. Suffer like the kesha. You were wrong to preaching up on side as each alone. Bitch on the shit and untrue seeing vets. Someone the very inch on Gary Land. Be hell in heaven, you see what the bound of it. Wait, something for the marker, make the key to pull the club and saw the bonds to the single land is carried open slow to keep us looking on my mother, break it, generous, he more than he and let the peasant be. It's every time we keep a spawn.